So the question I would like to ask is, can we create jobs through agribusiness? Can we? So let's listen to the experiences so far of the IITA youth agripreneurs. Yeah, the outline of the presentation that Tuka and I will be making will be that the unemployment situation, our goals, their processes, and then the funding strategy approaches, and then we'll conclude. The statistics, I'm sure most of us are already aware of. We know the unemployment rate of youth in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, and even, let me talk about Nigeria. That is where we are, and then precisely in Ibadan. Okay, the total unemployment rate is about 23.9%, and over 50% are youths. And then this is growing at a steady rate of about 16.9% every year. So we can try to calculate how this is rising and then the current status of unemployment at this point. Yeah, let me just go through this practical instance. During the Nigerian immigration scheme recruitment exercise, where there were less than 5,000 vacancies to be filled, and then we had almost 1 million youth applicants. There were some casualties recorded. Taking a look at the photos, we think it is the World Cup final. Yes. Let's come down to our immediate environment, that is IITA. At the beginning of every month, there is usually this rush. The gate is so busy. A lot of graduates come in looking for casual job, casual labor, maybe to weed, to sweep, anything at all. They want to just have something to do. The young graduates in Nigeria, about 150,000 pass through NYSC every year. NYSC stands for the National Youth Service Corps, which is a scheme that was established in 1973 by the Nigerian government to involve the country's graduates in contributing to the development of the nation. I think to my left, I can see some youth corpers. Please just stand up so that they can see you, please. Those are the youth corpers. That is our uniform. Sometime in 2012, my colleagues and I were just like them. Please sit, thank you. So we were 7 core members then at IITA. Normally about 50 to 100 pass through IITA for this mandatory scheme. Some peculiar or typical options are that some get absorbed by the job market, some continue to further their studies, and some others, more than 60% actually, remain jobless. And then in 2012, during the visit of the IFAD president, Dr. Kanayo Nwanze, and then through the leadership of the IITA Director General, Dr. Saginga, they challenged us then, we youths, to be active, to be proactive in agriculture, to take up agriculture as a business. And that was when the IITA Youth Agripreneurs was established. Okay, thank you. Yes, I am Ohanwusi Evelyn. I'm a graduate of quantity surveying from Obafemi Awolowo University. So I would not need to emphasize so much on our disciplines, bearing in mind that you already heard that some of us are historians, statisticians, quantity surveyors. We have someone who studied logistics and transport management, economists, and the endless list. So basically, the hypothesis that we believe the IITA Youth Agripreneurs will be testing is that the agriculture business can provide employment for youths. Also that it would create an independent agribusiness enterprise. And then we can be that model that can be replicated in the IITA hubs and even in sub-Saharan African countries. Our strategy to basically carry out what we plan to do, our vision is built on about 5 pillars, which we can see on our slides. The use of improved technology options that will make a difference in people's lives, the modern agronomic practices. Also, our vision is equally built on facilitating access to markets, seed distribution, crop processing. We also have to develop our skills in agriculture. We have to be business-oriented, and that's why we have to take courses to develop our business skills. And of course, We can't do this alone. We have to forge alliances and partnerships both at the local, the state, federal, and even the continental level. This is very key to our program. And I would say that basically that is why we still are existing. We've been in existence since 2012. And then the involvement of senior leadership has really motivated us. The mentoring we need, the coaching we need is really important. Yeah, we came up with these possible outcomes. In the future, probably 40%. The future, I mean, maybe from after my presentation, yeah, it becomes the future as far as I'm concerned. So 40% become self-employed. 20 will further their studies with the income generated from within our group, from our activities, basically. 20% will obviously continue to run our business because we do not want to go into extinction. 10% could be employed by the business incubation platform of IITA. And then 10% will get employed by other private and public institutions. Some of the institutions, I know you're already looking to see who you want to poach amongst us. It's allowed. And then we might, well, failure is not an option, but sometimes it happens, or most times it happens. So we can accommodate that if it eventually happens. At the moment, we make use of IITA's infrastructure, the office space we are using, our cars, the training center. Yes, but we are committed to owning our own facilities in the future. Also, we would acquire land. We have already acquired land as I'm talking for this season and even for our own office expansion. Yeah, we did not just wake up and just start doing what we needed to do. We actually engaged in a number of activities since inception. So let me say the very first activity was actually the reorientation to encourage a change in mindset in agriculture. You know, we had to know that, yes, agriculture is indeed profitable. We had to have various discussions with people. We had to change that mindset and take up agriculture as a business. We went on educational tours and learning visits to a number of companies, to Niji farms, to Thai farms, and including about 12 seed companies in Nigeria. We attended the agribusiness workshops, some organized in Abuja, and even the one organized at the Songhai Center in Cotonou, Benin Republic. Yeah, we got engaged in in-house training. I do not have a background in agriculture, so there are so many things I did not know. So we had to all learn from our able scientists here at the Institute. We were formed into our value chain groups of the commodities we are basically into, which includes maize, cassava, soybean, plantain and banana, and recently vegetables and fisheries. We have actually experimented. We have developed our own fields, yeah, our maize fields, our cassava, and all other fields. And yet the other picture to the right or to my left is one of us being trained on the use of farm machinery. Now, somebody might want to ask me, why did we have to get engaged in the seed sector? Sometime in 2012, Nigeria needed about 63,000 metric tons of maize seeds. But over the 40 seed companies here in Nigeria could not provide 10% of that seed. I think they were only able to provide about 6,300 metric tons. This situation is peculiar to soybean, sorghum, rice, and it's even worse for the clonally propagated crops like cassava, yams. And so that's why we had to tap into this business. So here is just let me say a trip or a round trip on how our field, yeah, the maize field, when it's harvested, dried, threshing and processing, and then now bagged and ready for sale. Our activities continued. We have been engaged in a number of advocacy activities. We've been exposed to visiting governors, organizations, donors, and the likes. We have been engaged in resource mobilization. We have been able to write proposals, some proposals that have already been funded, and some that we know will still be funded. We have expanded to other hubs in IITA. During the introduction, you will notice that we have some other youths from Tanzania and even Bukavu amongst us, from Cotonou and even Zambia, the Southern African hub. We've been engaged in training for income generation for other youths. Sometime in January this year, we conducted this training. So we were in our uniform, the orange, and then you can see our trainees, the youth from Calabar local government there. We've been engaged in other activities such as the MOU signing with Akinyele local government to train 250 youths. The Oyo State governor was highly impressed when he paid us a visit and promised to build a youth training center here at IITA. We have been able to work in various units, and we have structured ourselves like a proper organization. And then we have been able to maintain a sort of balance in our gender system for the women and the gentlemen, for the ladies and the gentlemen rather. So we can see two broad arms of our organogram, the production and operation, and then the partnership and marketing arm. And then we have somebody, a lady, who run the finance and logistics, administration. And then under the partnership and marketing arm, we have the marketing and processing unit. The soy milk on our table is courtesy of that unit. We have the capacity building unit or the training unit. We have the communication, ICT, and even M&E, because we have to know that we are making an impact. Under the production and operation, we have the roots and tuber, and even vegetables. We have the fisheries unit, and then the cereals and legumes unit. We have been able to mobilize funds in about 4 ways, or we're planning to, we started mobilizing funds in about 4 ways starting 2014. We have agreed that about 40% of our funds will come in through production, and my colleague Tuka would shed more light on that. About 30% of our funds, we hope, will come from public and private donors. About 20% through training and consultancy services. And then by aligning with other IITA programs that have the youth component, or however we can help to upscale whatever research or activity ongoing at IITA, we will be able to contribute. And just a little tip, this was our proposed funds that we're looking at from 2014 to 2018. And as I stand here, in 2014, we were expecting that we'll be at this landmark of 500,000 US dollars. But as of today, we are almost closer to, in fact, to $800,000. So we can imagine if we keep up with that, we should be able to create more employment for other youths and encourage other youths. On this note, I would like to invite Tuka, who would take us through the remaining presentation on how we hope to go about activities. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Standing on existing protocol, I would like to continue from where my colleague Evelyn stopped. Yeah, in 2013, we had a baseline, a revenue of about 58,000 US dollars, considering our only source of revenue was from production. And since that was our first year of production, it was still a little bit small scale. But now with the approach being adopted, we have identified various other sources of resource mobilization. First is from the activities of the production and operation arm, which is subdivided into the roots and tubers, fisheries, and then the grains and legumes. Then we can just have a look at this just to highlight the profitability of some of the crops we are into. For soybean, we see a total cost of production of about 1,395 US dollars and a revenue of about 450,000 naira, which is about 2,800 US dollars. Gives us a cost benefit ratio of 1 to 2. Then for cassava, with a total cost of 842 US dollars, giving us revenue from both stems and roots of about 1,875 US dollars and a cost benefit ratio of 1 to 2.2. This is just to underscore a fact which you already know, that agriculture is indeed profitable. Then in 2014, we have decided to expand our production. In 2013, we cultivated about 30 hectares of land, but now we are going to over 100 hectares of land. We've gotten land both in Oyo State, and we've expanded our activities even to the north, where we will be having most of our maize and soybean fields. We've also decided to go into vegetable production, and fisheries as well. This will just complement the resource mobilization strategy, and we are expecting a projected revenue of over $500,000 from the production and operation arm. We also have our second arm, which is partnership and marketing arm, that would be involved in establishing functional partnerships, identifying new businesses like the training, as well as writing proposals to get funds from donors. Our marketing will involve the sales of seeds and our other crops. We also have our processing unit. Africa exports jobs, which it really needs, by not engaging in post-harvest processing. So the IT Youth Agripreneurs have decided to embrace these modern processing technologies that have been developed, and we've decided to really exploit this, make money, and we intend scaling out these even to other youths that we will be training. Yes, as earlier mentioned by my colleague, we've already hosted a training for some youths, which costed about $13,000. So we are hoping to expand even this year. We've also been involved in ICT and communication activities. We've been involved on social media sites, as well as publication of our newsletters and other documents. Some of our projected outcomes for the year 2014 include building of capacity of youths outside, as well as internal capacity development. We would be going for an MBA program just to acquire some more business skills. We will also be expecting an income of about $600 by the end of the year from our activities and our revenue. Then we also produce. Then our implementation timeline is in 3 phases. Phase 1 being exploring priorities. Phase 2, growth and repositioning. And phase 3, consolidation of success and scaling out. The youth bring innovation and vitality into the workforce, and when this is matched with opportunity, it could have a transformative effect on economic growth and social development. So it is therefore expedient to invest in the leaders of tomorrow today, so we can actually harness their energies and channel it productively towards agriculture. We know Africa has about 60% of the world's reserve of arable land. This is an edge for the continent. If we can actually capitalize on this, we know Africa's prosperity lies in agriculture as a business. I'd like to end by saying the IT Youth Agripreneurs are a testament to the fact that with good training, youth without full exposure to agriculture can be productively engaged in the sector. Thank you very much.
And if you be the heat, we'll be fresh enough. And if the child is suffering,